Hey there, this is Vince of vinceprep.com and Agos Consulting. A client recently sent me an email, a potential client, asking me her question is, how could I help her identify her strengths as an applicant? First of all, I suggest, so there's two ways to figure out our strengths. One is sort of outside in, and one is, I would call, inside out. Inside out is to sit around and meditate or think about it. What are my strengths? And for better or for worse, I think we often don't know ourselves very well. I think knowing ourselves is very hard, and our own sense of our strengths and weaknesses may not, in fact, resonate with those around us. So we may know our strengths from the inside, and I could quickly list 3 or 4 strengths. Most of us couldn't. We just simply don't. We have a hard time evaluating ourselves. We're either overconfident or underconfident. We either are too easy on ourselves or too hard on ourselves. And so that's why I think it's often good to go outside in and get some external input. If we're lucky, we have a great boss or a great mentor who knows us well and also who can assess us objectively and fairly. Perhaps we have people like that in our lives. And also we can use tools, external tools. One of them that I like a lot is Clifton. Clifton Strengths is also marketed by Gallup as Strengths Finder or Strengths Finder 2.0. That's a really great tool. You can take a survey in multiple, you can take it in English. You can also take it in, for example, Japanese and multiple languages. And that'll give you a nice external sense of, here are my top 5 strengths. They have I think 32, and these are my top 5. And what I like about their philosophy is that basically it's focus on the top ones and then don't even bother with the bottom 5. The 5 that they say you're worst at are things that you should compensate for. You should work with. StrengthsFinder is really good for knowing yourself and knowing your strengths. It's also really good for knowing what you're probably never going to be very good at, and therefore it's really great for building teams. My team at Agos has all taken this, and I use this analysis a lot to figure out, okay, how do we match people together on a project basis? For example, I'm really deliberative. That's my number 1 strength according to Clifton. That means I think a lot before I make a decision. That's really good. I tend to be I actually don't take a lot of risks. I'm not a very good entrepreneur. I'm a very careful and deliberative thinker, but I sometimes take too long to think. And so I need someone with me who's more of an, activator or something like that. I need someone around me who can give me a push at the right moment to say, okay, you've really thought about this just enough, and now is the time, and this is a very good action. Let's act now. Individualization is another one of my strengths, which relates deeply to counseling or consulting, which is I can help people identify. I'm very insistent that I'm one of a kind, and I also I'm probably overly individualized. Personally, I don't know, better for worse. But in terms of other people, I'm fairly good at looking at individuals and helping them distinguish themselves from a group, which is a very key skill for the application process. The other is achiever. I'm very goal-oriented. I'm very driven to achieve results. I'm very futuristic. I like to think about the future, which relates to strategy. And finally, intellection, which relates to deliberative. I'm very intellectual minded. I tend to have a hard time connecting my thoughts sometimes to my feelings, and most importantly to my hands, to my actions. And so I'm someone who needs people around me who are really good. And also noticing here in my top 5 strengths, I don't have any that are directly related to persuasion. Actually hesitate to do sales. And I need people around me who are really good at presenting an image in a way that convinces others or woos others. I'm a little too, I think, sometimes cold and rigid in my analysis. And I sort of think, well, I've thought a lot about this. I'm sure it's right. And if you don't like it or if you don't agree, I'm sorry. I'm not going to try that hard to convince you. and that's not always a good strategy in certain circumstances. So I need people around me who counter, and I do have people on my team who are really good at delivering a message in a way that is a little softer maybe than my way, and in a way that is encourages people to, you know, more gradually come around to that idea and presents things. I'm always someone who's like, "Oh, this is terrible. Do you want it?" Or, this is this isn't very good. Like, I'm just not. I'm too honest in some ways. Anyway, this went on a little longer than I thought. I just wanted to share my strengths for what they're worth, but more importantly, another tool or another mechanism or method for which with which you might find some success in assessing yourself from an outside in perspective. All right, that's it for now. As always, I greatly appreciate you watching these videos. Please do subscribe. Subscribers will be the first to know when I've made new videos. I love making these videos every chance I get. But that's all for now, and best of luck with your applications, with your self-assessments, with your interviews, and with life. All right, take care. Bye-bye.